So the issue of whether a word actually appears in the Constitution is not really relevant, is it?
Certainly there are some very specific words in the Constitution that have to be given direct application. There's some direct commands by the Constitution. You know, senators have to be a certain age to be senators.
I'm going to do a terrific show today because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Heavenly shades of night are falling. It's twilight time. Out of the mist.
One-party dictatorship to push Soviet-style medical treatment, says Michael Savage. Disagree or agree? I don't care what you think. The GOP or the GIP? You know, Ronald Reagan said, it's morning in America. Under Barack Hussein Obama, it's morning in America with a different spelling. We've gone from morning to twilight, so play It's Twilight Time on the Savage Nation as my summer audience awakens from their suntans and recognizes that there's no longer an America to be recognized under this communist dictator, Barack Hussein Obama. Say it like it is. The man is a naked communist surrounded by Politburo members, and they are trying to change this country in a way that you'll regret because you're going to lose your freedom as sure as I'm sitting here. If you don't stop these clowns right now, within 4 years you won't have your freedom. All right, what's the point of me getting excited? I've been banned from Britain. I guess next I'll be banned from America. Maybe they could send me to Devil's Island. You do know there's been a revolution in America. You do recognize that Barack Obama is exactly what I warned you he was. The man is a naked Soviet-era communist. He hates success. He hates successful people. Yes, he is surrounded by them, just as many dictators used successful people to gain a foothold, and the successful who put them in power thought that they would control them forever. And shortly thereafter, the dictators that were established took total power away from the power structure that put them in there. That would apply to folks in Germany. That would apply to people in the past in Italy. It doesn't matter. It is history repeating itself. Now, during the election season last year, I was the only one in America who saw this coming in the way I saw it coming. Many people saw it through Obama. Everyone knew he was the most far-left radical senator in a U.S. history, and that we could expect nothing but the same if he became president, God forbid. But I wrote a monologue in which I discussed the concept that I phrased trickle-up poverty, which was stolen perhaps the next minute by someone in the media that you may recognize as someone who has no original ideas but steals. But trickle-up poverty is what you're getting right now. It was I who told you back in October that under Obama, you're going to have trickle-up poverty. Now, I wrote this in October of 2008, and I want to read you what I wrote. I'm quoting myself from October of 2008, because if I could be so right then, when everyone in the media saw this man as hope and change, not the naked communist that he is, I will then come back on the air, and I will tell you what's coming after this if he is not stopped cold through the electorate, through the ballot box, through streets, through tea parties, through Million Men marches. The man must be stopped or you're going to lose your freedom itself. That's what's happening. You have to understand what I'm saying to you. Today it's health care. Tomorrow it's speech. And after speech, it's behavior. And after behavior, it's re-education camps. And those who don't go into the re-education camps that come out sufficiently re-educated go into the slave labor camps. You say it can't happen here. I say it is happening here. In October of 2008, I wrote a monologue in which I called the concept trickle-up poverty. I told you it would be imposed. I said that he would do that, and he is doing it with his Soviet-era medical treatment plan that he is pushing as I speak. Here is what I wrote in October. The liberal media talking heads are already proclaiming that a Barack Obama victory will be revolutionary. Revolutionary is right. The last great revolution took place in Russia. Within a year of the Russian Revolution in 1917, the communist leader Lenin brought the Russians change they could believe in. He created an economic system in which, one, all industry was nationalized and strict centralized management was introduced. Two, obligatory labor duty was imposed onto non-working classes or people who had money. 3, food was rationed and centrally distributed. 4, military-like control of railroads was introduced. Private enterprise became illegal. Next, Stalin took over the Soviet Union years later. What did he do? He imposed a state-run system of socialized medicine, which is almost a duplicate of what Obama is trying to do. He formed a strict, centralized cultural administration and ideological control system. In other words, re-education. I went on in October of 2008. There is every reason to believe that some kind of socialist revolution will occur under BO. Bush has already imposed socialism on the banks. Now, remember, I wrote this in October. And Obama promises to do more of the same. The Soviets put people with money to work in factories. Here's what I predicted. Under Obama, the business owners in this country who drive the economy will be put to work by being forced to pay crushing taxes that will fund gold-plated health care for illegal aliens and welfare recipients. Private enterprise may not actually be made illegal, but so many businesses will die under an Obama administration that the same goal will be accomplished. Instead of trickle-down economics, we'll have trickle-up poverty. That was from October 15, 2008, on the most predictive radio show in the United States of America. We have gone from Reagan's phrase, "It is morning in America," to "America is morning." Play It's Twilight Time while I catch my breath and take my calls on the Savage Nation.
Are falling. It's twilight time. Out of the mist,
your country is dying. A young man from the slums of Chicago has one goal in mind, and that is to make everyone equal, to make everyone the same, to punish those who are faster, quicker, and brighter and willing to work harder. It is sad to see the country is being given away without so much as a voice being raised in the U.S. Senate. And if you're going to comment on this, you know what? Call somebody else. I really have no reason to take your calls on this. What are you going to say that I haven't said already? Is there something new? Now, later on in the show, we're going to have an expert on the so-called Soviet style. They call it healthcare reform. It is a Soviet-style medical care system, according to what I have read. We're going to have an expert on who knows all the details. And I'm focusing on one question. What about those of us who do not want government health care? What about those of us who say, you can take it and shove it? We don't want a third-world doctor who doesn't speak English sticking an instrument in our throats. We're going to pay for our own health care. We're going to pay for our own doctors. I'm going to find out whether that's going to be permitted. I doubt it. Las Vegas, Sonny, you're on the Savage Nation.
Yeah, Dr. Savage, I just want to tell you, last summer you predicted that Barack Obama would be the largest affirmative action case in the history of the United States of America. You are the Nostradamus of this world. You predicted it. I hope your producers can bring that up from last summer. You said it, and you were right.
But this is what happens when you put unqualified people into positions of authority or power. It doesn't matter whether it's the president in this case, where the extremes are even more apparent, or if an affirmative action appointee winds up as a police chief, or an affirmative action appointee winds up as a fireman, a chief of a fire department, or an affirmative action appointee who winds up running this company or that division and they're unqualified or incapable of doing it. It's the same result at the end of the day. You're watching an affirmative action president pushing an agenda that does not belong in America. It's foreign to America. It's destroying America. It's punishing the successful. It's rewarding the weak, and I'll be right back.